Jupiter transiting the 11th house. The most powerful transit of Jupiter to the 11th house is when it's transiting exactly over that house, which is called the conjunction, which is 0 degrees, which happens once in 12 years. It is very rare, as you can see. And the second positive by strength transit of Jupiter is when Jupiter is transiting 120 degrees from the 11th house, and it triggers it very powerfully again, not to the same extent, but you still feel the positive influence of Jupiter on the 11th house, which happens the 120, the trine aspect, as we call it, the 120-degree aspect of Jupiter to the 11th house happens more often, every 4 or 5 years approximately. But the conjunction is the proper powerful 100%, and the other one would be like 60-70% in power. So what happens then? As we know, Jupiter is the great benefic in astrology. Wherever it's transiting, it kind of ennobles it, it brings more opportunity there, it brings positive developments in the area of that this house rules. And on the most mundane level, Jupiter rules friendships, and groups, any bigger groups of people, like-minded people, whether it's social organizations, whether it's reading groups or political groups or any kind of group, bigger groups of people that you might feel you belong to, even if it's a racial group or nationality, you know. It's this sense the person has of belonging to something bigger than himself. Usually the smallest unit, it's friendship, belonging to something bigger. It's when you belong to a group of friends, you kind of feel accepted and validated by others. And on the most mundane level, Jupiter will help you grow and nurture new friendships during this period. Or if you've neglected your friendships in the last few years or time, during this period you'll be able to improve on them, to make them blossom, to make them much more tighter and beneficial mutually. Jupiter also shows the area of your life where you gain most beneficial and positive influences wherever it's transiting. So from friendships or from like-minded people, this is where this is where the good things in your life will come for you right now. The support will come from your close friends or like-minded people. So I would strongly advise you, if you're invited on a social gathering and you're having Jupiter transit to the 11th house, you know, you see that year you're having it. Jupiter usually transits the 11th house for about a year approximately, you know. So make sure you go there, because something very positive will come out of it, something that helps you in your life, something which helps you become bigger and better than you are, because the 11th house is about transcending the self by joining a bigger body of people or a bigger ideal organization for ideals, you know. That's why it's the house of politics as well. It's the house of utopian ideals. It's the house of humanity. It's the house of humanitarianism and helping others, giving something back to the society. It's not about only what you want anymore. And when Jupiter activates it, you would feel like, what can I contribute to the world? What can I contribute to the society? What can I contribute to my friends, to others? You know, you'll become in a much more humanitarian state of mind. And even if it's not about saving the world, it might be like giving, you know, contributing something to others, you know, contributing something to the world. And using your talents, your God-given talents, to shine more and to be accepted, to be acknowledged by society. And that's why it's also the house of honors and titles in astrology. So when Jupiter transits there, you know, if you've given something to the world, to society, if you've become if you've played your role as part of the cog in the big machine of society, you know, the society will be grateful to you. Others will be grateful to you, so you can receive honors, you can receive titles. This is, in the past it was called the present from the king. So this is the king who was giving titles. And I'm not saying Jupiter is transiting your 11th house, you're going to become a lord or sir, but you can, for instance, you can receive a higher name position at your work, for instance, promoted from manager to vice president, or senior director, and or just something to do with being acknowledged from those around you, from the groups, from society, being acknowledged for contributing to it, and getting some title, some honor somehow, also, or some acknowledgement, even if it's not like in a written way, or diploma. This is when people can graduate and receive a diploma, or PhD, or master's. This is again something which is validating from society about you, about your efforts. So this is another thing you can expect on a material outer level, Uh, and the 11th house is the house of gainfulness as well, another good thing, which means that when Jupiter is transiting, it always blossoms the affairs of that house, so people can start making more money during this period. You can expect some promotion. If you're seeing that within the next 5 months, or say next year, you're having Jupiter transiting your 11th house, well, this is the time you can ask for a promotion or hope for one, maybe. Well, it doesn't always play like that. It doesn't always, you're not always going to become richer or something, but you can hope, and you have a much better chance for increased gainfulness in your life during this period. I remember when I had Jupiter transit my 11th house. Before that, life wasn't so easy financially, and the moment Jupiter started transiting it, I started a new job and finances, and I started being financially abundant, which was great, So for me, it worked out well, and for many clients that I've seen, it works out really well. That it probably in 80% of people, I see that if there are not other blocking influences, of course, because sometimes, if there are more difficult transits happening at the same time, which are more powerful, they can block this positive influence of Jupiter. But pretty much you should expect some increase in gainfulness. Financially, so to speak, or if you have your own business, it can start making better money as well, better payback for you, and as well, 11th house rules goals, long-term goals, and the dreams of a person, the things that the long-term goals and dreams, as we said earlier, 11th house rules what the desire to transcend the separate self and become something better, bigger. That's why becoming part of a society, becoming part of a group of friends, joining and contributing something. And our goals and dreams are exactly the same thing. They're born through our desire to be bigger and better than ourselves, than what we are already. And so the long-term goals that we have, when Jupiter transits the 11th house, first of all, our longing for those long-term goals, or our desire to make them happen, increases. And with this desire, we attract opportunities to forward our long-term dreams and goals. So maybe if you want to be an actor, and Jupiter is transiting your 11th house, maybe you meet someone who helps you in that direction, who shows you about a course, or who introduces you to someone else, who gives you an idea, so you can make a step towards fulfilling your goals during this period. Your long-term cherished dreams, it's not like it's not something momentarily. It's something that you work for long and hard for a long time. It's not a desire that passes from today to tomorrow. It's not a long-term, like a desire, I'm in love with my neighbor, I want to be with her. Something that is really, really, as I said, really essential to you, as a dream, as a desire, as a utopia, or something that you're looking forward to, and Jupiter will bring you a step closer to that. And I remember when Jupiter was transiting my 11th house was the time when I started working on my website. I didn't make it happen exactly then. It took a few years before everything started working out, but I took the first steps in fulfilling my long-term dream of becoming an astrologer, for instance. So this is a time when you're making strides in that direction. And when actually the universe will put around you such circumstances that they open doors for you somehow, or usually you can meet someone like a benefactor, because the 11th house rules benefactors, people who are there to help us somehow, to put us on the right path, to help us with fulfilling our goals and dreams and wishes. which 11 house rules. So you can, the people that you meet right now, they can be, even if they're not your best friends, you can be someone you meet randomly at a party or outside, that they can tell you something, or they can bring you some tangible opportunity to make things happen that you've been longing for a while. And especially, I keep repeating, friends and like-minded people, groups and organizations will be a source of inspiration, a source of help for you. Don't isolate yourself, even if you try, even if you're someone who is usually more isolated during this period for about a year, or sometimes Jupiter influences for 2 or 3 weeks more intensely, and then it goes down again, the influence then comes back again. But you will definitely feel that you are surrounded with more people than normally, you're more socially active and busy as well. I know people that are not normally very social. Jupiter goes into their house, 11th house, and they become busybodies, getting invited to horse races, to parties, to social do, to humanitarian do's. Usually people who are born with many planets in the 11th house, they're usually always out and about socially. But when Jupiter triggers it by transit, it means that you have a few months in your life, or a year, when you develop this area of your life, which is friendships, which is social engagements, and they're beneficial for you. As we said, Jupiter always indicates those things which are beneficial to us to a very good extent. And whether it's whether you be just making 2 or 3 new friends or improving friendships with existing friends, or whether you be all of a sudden in the high circles of society, being meeting the queen or something. That depends very much on your personal horoscope, to what level you can reach when it comes to social groups and friendships and acknowledgement in society. If some people are, their personal height might be having 2 friends, people who never had friendships. And when Jupiter passes to the 11th house, this is when they make those friendships, so they get invited, to a few social do's. And other people, they might be just the opposite. They might be constantly out and about, very social, mingling with the celebrities. 11th house comes and the queen makes them a lord, gives them a sir makes them a sir for contributions to the world and society, or they win the Nobel Prize, some accolades and acquisitions from society, and being acknowledged, as I said. And on the smallest levels, acknowledgement we get through our friends who love us or who support us, who demand our attention more. On the highest level, it's the queen already, getting acknowledgement from the queen, or getting a promotion. So this is what, it's an extremely positive house, as it sounds, gainfulness, financially, and whether you increase by 1 million in your salary, or by £20 or $20 monthly more, well, it's again very much depends on the particulars of your horoscope, because you might not be meant to be a millionaire or something. But this is time of more financial possibilities and growth. Also, the 11th house rules presents from the king. Well, if you don't have king or a queen, it's present from the government. So this is the return taxes. So all of a sudden you might have a surprise that the government, that you can claim taxes back, and that's why you can have some increase financial. Or if you're applying for a visa, it can be a good time now to receive a visa, because it's a present from the government, from institutions again. And I've seen this work actually. I've seen it definitely works. If you're waiting something from a government, if you're relying something to receive from an institution, from a government, whether it's a state, what is it called? Council, state fair. Well, when the government helps you financially, or maybe receiving some financial help from the government for benefits, that's the word. Whether you're hoping for benefits, Jupiter can, transiting 11th house, can bring it for you, benefits, social benefits from the government, or some tax rebate, or some tax release, or relief, or some other whatever, or something else that you're expecting from a higher standing authority institution can come to you more easily. well, visas, whatever, anything. Right now, these are the two things I can think of: visas or taxes or benefits from the government. But you can think of more. So please share with us what happened to you during this period. I mean, did you went a step closer to fulfilling your long-standing goals and dreams? Did you get more acknowledgement from society or friends, or get more busy socially, so to speak? Did you, or maybe had some benefits from the government? Did you benefit from friendships overall? And did you become also more idealistic? It's a period when people tend to become more idealistic and want to accomplish more than before. They start kind of looking further ahead, and believing more that they can get where they're supposed to be. That and usually life, as I said, puts them a step closer to their goals and wishes. Well, thank you very much. And please write your stories.